Most people think revenge is loud. They think it's screaming matches, keyed cars, or public shaming. But I learned that the most devastating revenge is actually silent. My boyfriend of 3 years looked me in the eye and told me he needed to relieve himself with other women. He thought I'd cry. He thought I'd beg. Instead, I said okay. And by the time he realized what that okay actually meant, he was standing on the sidewalk with 3 boxes and a key that didn't work anymore. He wanted an open relationship? Fine. I opened the door and watched him walk right out of my life. If you've ever been underestimated by someone who thought they owned your heart, this story is for you. Today, we're looking at a masterclass in the silent treatment, not as a game, but as a boundary. Hit that like button if you believe karma always finds its way home. Subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. My name is Miriam. At 31, I thought I had found my person in Lucas. On paper, we were the couple everyone envied. We had the aesthetic apartment, the stable careers, the shared Sunday brunches. But living with Lucas was like being in a play where I was the only one who hadn't seen the script. Every day was an audition. If I collapsed on the sofa after a 10-hour shift, he didn't offer a glass of wine. He offered a critique. "You've lacked ambition lately, Miriam," he'd say, his voice smooth and clinical. If I wanted a quiet night in, I was getting boring. If I asked where we stood, I was needy. He never yelled. That was his trick. He spoke to me with the calm, patronizing patience of a teacher explaining basic math to a struggling child. He made me feel small so that he could feel significant. The declaration, the injustice. The breaking point came last Thursday. We were on the couch I paid for. He didn't even look up from his phone when he said it. "I've been thinking. I think we should open the relationship. I need to relieve myself." The words "relieve myself" hit me like a physical weight. I actually laughed at first. It sounded so mechanical, so absurd. But when I saw the cold, expectant look in his eyes, the laughter died. He told me monogamy was unnatural for him. He said he felt stifled. And then came the smirk, that tiny, jagged little twist of his lips. "You're welcome to see other people too," he said. "Obviously, if you can." In that second, the fog cleared. He wasn't asking for a conversation. He was making a declaration of dominance. He expected me to stay home, nursing my insecurities, while he went out and explored, knowing I'd be there to cook his dinner and validate his ego when he came back. "Okay," I said. His head snapped up. He was searching for the catch, the tears, the dramatic reaction he loved to manage. When he saw nothing but my calm face, he smiled. He actually kissed my cheek and said, "I knew you'd be mature about it." The restoration, the turning point. He went to stay at his ex-Vanessa's that night. He called it giving me space to process. In reality, it was a power move. He thought the silence of the apartment would break me. He thought I'd spiral and call him, sobbing, telling him I'd accept anything just to have him back. But when I woke up Friday morning, the apartment didn't feel empty. It felt clean. I looked around. The lease? My name. The utilities? My name. Every stick of furniture? Bought with my paychecks. Lucas had moved in because it made financial sense, but he never truly invested. He was a tenant in my life, acting like the landlord. I didn't feel rage. I felt methodical. At 10 a.m., I called a locksmith. Listening to the click-clack of the locksmith changing the cylinders was the most peaceful sound I'd heard in 3 years. While he worked, I packed Lucas's life into 3 neat boxes. I didn't throw his clothes out the window. I folded them. I paired his shoes. I was restoring my home to its original state, a place where I was enough. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Lucas. "Just matched with someone. LOL. Guess this open thing is already working." He was fishing. He was desperate for me to hurt. I didn't reply. I blocked his number. I blocked his Instagram. I blocked his email. I slipped the new keys into my pocket and went for a walk. The collapse, escalation. It took 48 hours for the reality to hit him. Lucas was a man who thrived on reactions. When I didn't play my part in his script, the whole production started to fall apart. By Saturday, the emails started. "Did you seriously block me? We agreed to be open, not broken up. Notice, though, we agreed. He had gaslit himself into believing I was a willing participant in my own betrayal. At 6 p.m., the front desk called. A man was downstairs claiming he lived here. 10 minutes later, the pounding on my door began. Miriam, open the door. Don't be dramatic. There was that word again. Dramatic. Anything that inconvenienced him was drama. I stood on the other side of the door, watching him through the peephole. I watched his jaw set, his shoulders tighten.
He wasn't worried about me.
He was furious that he'd lost his audience. By Sunday, he was texting my friend Naomi, asking if I'd had a mental breakdown. When Naomi told him I'd simply stopped responding, he spiraled. He came back to my door, his voice cracking with frustration. I don't know what game you're playing. Most women would kill for an open relationship. I was being honest with you. He was standing outside a door he thought would always be open, realizing for the first time that his power wasn't something he had. It was something I had given him. And I had just revoked it by Monday. The honest, mature Lucas was gone. He was replaced by a man sending screenshots of his new dating profile to my work email. This is where you're choosing to walk away from, he wrote. I looked at the screen and felt nothing. No jealousy. Just a deep sense of relief. He thought the open relationship was about sex. It wasn't. It was about validation. He wanted to explore the world while keeping me as his emotional home base, his insurance policy against being alone. The final confrontation happened Tuesday night. He wasn't yelling anymore. He was whispering through the door, his voice dripping with venom. You're being cruel, Miriam. I gave you honesty, and this is how you repay me? You don't even have the courage to fight for us. I leaned my head against the cool wood of the door. I realized then that Lucas didn't want a partner. He wanted a mirror. He wanted someone to reflect his own greatness back at him, even while he stepped all over them. You asked for freedom, I whispered, though I knew he couldn't hear me. I just gave it to both of us. I heard him wait. I heard his heavy, jagged breathing. And then, I heard his footsteps fade down the hallway. For the first time in a week, the silence wasn't a weapon.
It was a choice.
Lucas spent years telling me I wasn't enough, then acted shocked when I finally agreed with him and decided I was too much for him to handle. He wanted an open relationship because he thought he could have everything. He ended up with 3 boxes on a sidewalk and a silence he couldn't manipulate. Sometimes the best way to win is to simply stop playing the game. If Miriam's quiet strength gave you chills, smash that like button. It goes to show that the most powerful word you can ever say to a narcissist is okay and then walking away. Have you ever had to go completely silent to find your peace? Let me know your stories in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of justice served cold. We'll see you in the next one.